Yesterday, Blade striker Ollie McBurnie was cleared of any wrongdoing from the Nottingham Forest versus Sheffield United playoff game from last season. And you know what? It shouldn't have even gone to court in the first place, should it? So let's start at the very beginning, the City Ground, where Nottingham Forest play their home games. The Blades were 2-1 down after the first leg, after a very lacklustre performance from us and a very good performance by Forest. So we were going into the second leg with Forest already having one leg in the final, or so they thought. And after Brennan Johnson's first half strike, we, and probably Forest, were thinking the game was over. But Morgan Gibbs-White and John Fleck had other ideas. The atmosphere in the ground from the home fans swung from electric to very, very nervous. I was in the ground and I could tell from the famous song, City Ground, that goes to the tune of 𝗲𝗔 of Kintyre was getting cagier and cagier by the second. Anyway, the Blades were getting closer and closer to scoring in real time, and then in injury time, we had two very, very good opportunities to win the game, but unfortunately for us, and fortunately for Forest, they managed to get through to penalties unscathed and won the lottery of a shootout. Now, here is where it went all a little bit chaotic, because hundreds, if not thousands, of Forest fans ran on the pitch, and you know what? They didn't run over to the heroes to celebrate with their heroes, straight over to the Blades fans. As you just saw on screen, you could see it all on my vlog from the game, which you can still watch on YouTube, by the way. Then one bloke attempted to hospitalise our injured striker Billy Sharp with a running headbutt. Luckily, that bloke was jailed for 24 weeks, given a life ban by Forest, and was ordered to pay Billy Sharp £500 in compensation, as well as £85 in costs and a £128 victim surcharge. Now, I'm not saying that Billy Sharp needs 500 quid. 500 quid is a lot of money to some people. 500 quid is not a lot of money to other people. But hopefully that deters any other fans similar to this bloke from doing it in future. I'm doing this quite a lot, aren't I? I'm going to try and stop. After that, from my vantage point and watching it back on the TV, it seems that Forest fans were goading other injured Blades players in Rhian Brewster and the leg brace wearing Ollie McBurnie. Leg brace wearing, remember that. There were a melee of bodies, and in a video that I watched straight after the game, it looked pretty ominous. It looked like Ollie McBurnie had stamped on the accuser. That's what I'm going to have to call him, the accuser, because one, he's had a lot of stick on social media, some just, some unjust. And two, I just don't really want to give him any more publicity, really. He's had his day. Well, you could say every dog has his day. That picture's so funny. So yeah, the first time I watched that video, I thought McBurnie had stamped on him. And you know what? My judgment may have been clouded a little bit because I wasn't enamoured by McBurnie's antics on and off the field since becoming a Sheffield United player. And I think I said something like, bloody hell, 𝗲𝗿𝗿𝗂𝐺, he's always in bother, that lad. And then I watched the video again and it actually looks like he's trying to step over him, not stamp on him. Look, a couple of years ago, I ruptured my Achilles and I know how difficult it is just to walk and get your balance. Never mind trying to stamp on someone with an unhealed injury. Even losing your balance and trying to get your balance back really, really hurts depending on the injury. So I knew in my mind from that day and from that footage that Ollie was trying to get out of the way, because if he catches him or if he stamps on him like he says he's going to, I don't think he's playing football right now. I think he is injured and not lighting up the championship as we speak. So anyway, the accuser pressed charges on McBurnie, claiming a stamp and that he feared for his life. So firstly, the bloke that broke the law and entered the field of play, which we all know is an offence, but I think is less frowned upon when your team actually achieves something, which they didn't at that point. But they went up in the end, so I guess I'll have to let them off. But also the accuser said that they had banter during the match and Ollie was looking out for him to get revenge or something like that. And I just think, get over yourself, mate. Like, Ollie McBurnie earns more in a year than we will ever earn in a lifetime. So it's not that deep for him, I'm sure. Even if you had banter at that time, I'm sure immediately he'll have forgotten your face. But that's the incident, and now moving on to the court case. District Judge 𝗍𝗿𝗿𝗂 questioned why the accused, who claimed to have bruises on his leg following the incident, didn't take photos of them. 𝗍𝗿𝗿𝗂 added, what this witness describes and what is reality as far as evidence is concerned seems to diverge. So other than this poor camera footage, there's no evidence whatsoever of any wrongdoing. No evidence of bruising whatsoever. And I'm not being funny, but if I got beaten by a footballer that earned thousands upon thousands a week, there is no way I wouldn't be taking pictures of bruising. And I'd be taking pictures of bruising when it's at its worst. A tweet from the 𝗍𝗿𝗿𝗂 states, a 14-year-old who filmed the incident and David England, a steward, both gave evidence. Both said they saw McBurnie stamp on the victim. Jordan Watson, part of the NFFC response team, also gave evidence, but his view was obscured, which adds weight to the prosecution, but I think common sense prevails in the end. So there was no physical evidence, and really, for me, this lives and dies with the fact that why would somebody with an injury do something to worsen that injury? It just sounds ridiculous. Whether he didn't do it or did do it and caught him very, very slightly, I don't think Ollie McBurnie meant to do this. So McBurnie was found not guilty of assault by beating. The judge said the prosecution had not proved the case to the required standard and the charge was discharged. Now, Ollie McBurnie has done some questionable things off the field while being a Sheffield United footballer, but I honestly think that there's no way that he's done this or meant to do this. So case closed, end of story. Let's see what Ollie McBurnie can do for the rest of the season. He's already scored 9 goals and he's only started 4 of the Blades' last 10 matches. Just coming back from a hernia op, so fingers crossed he comes back, gets back to match fitness and carries on firing us up that division. Got to give a big hand to McBurnie for playing the best football of his Sheffield United career with this hanging over him, because it can't be easy. I spoke to Danny Wilson on this channel about the 𝗍𝗿𝗿𝗂𝗋 case as well, and he said how much respect that he had for Ched Evans whilst he was going through what he was and still banging goals in. So keep up the good work, Ollie. You never know, we might be passing Forest on our way to the promised land. See you next time.